episode 356. We'll be talking about Pro Wrestling Noah, the Great Muta Final Bye-Bye. Also shows from AIW and XPW, and some news going on in the world of pro wrestling. Right here, right now, 360 Wrestling Fanatic. And welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to a new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Thank you for tuning in right here on Spreaker or wherever else you may be listening. Got a few shows to talk about that took place over the weekend. First, gonna start things off with Pro Wrestling Noah, a show that I have been looking forward to for quite a while since I heard about it. The last match for the Great Muta, that character anyway, Keiji Muto's last match will take place next month. And actually going to start off with one little bit of news item first before I get into the bye-bye show. It was announced at the New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 17, forgot the rest of what it was called, but the joint show with New Japan and Pro Wrestling Noah, that on Keiji Muto's final match next month, he'll be taking on Tetsuya Naito, which should be a very good match. I know there was also talk about him maybe facing Okada in his final match, but it will be Naito, which I'm sure will be a very good match. And now let's get into the bye-bye, the final bye-bye, I should say, from Pro Wrestling Noah, from Yokohama, Japan, at the Yokohama Arena. And we start things off with Kongo, O'Hara, and I-69 defeating Kotiji and Yoshioka at 6 minutes 41 seconds. And women's action is up next, actually making history in this one. The first ever women's match in Pro Wrestling Noah. Jungle Kiona and Sarori Anu defeated Nomads, Natsu, and Yukai at 13 minutes 46 seconds. And next up is Best of Iron Man, Timothy Thatcher defeating Mota Suzuki, 8 minutes 44 seconds. And kind of a short match, but pretty entertaining. And next we have Mayawaki and Dorado and Yano defeating the team of Ogawa, Alita, and Nosawa Range via disqualification when they take off the mask, which is a big no-no. Disqualification, 7 minutes 22 seconds. our next match here at the final bye-bye, GLG, the good-looking guys, Jake Lee, Jack Morris, no, not the former Tigers pitcher, and Anthony Green, defeating the team of Kitamiya, Inaba, and Inamura. 10 minutes, 49 seconds. I thought this one was actually a pretty good match. Anthony Green has been making a few appearances on Impact Wrestling as of late. Jake Lee showed up here at Pro Wrestling Noah on New Year's Day. And Jack Morris, like I said, don't be confused with the former Tigers pitcher. Next is a GHC martial arts rules match. Sakuraba defeating Suzuki by a referee stoppage at 10 minutes, 37 seconds. Next, we have Amakusa, Ninja Mac, and Ultimo Dragon with Sonny Ono taking on and defeating the team of Yohei, Kizi, and Dante Leon. 11 minutes, 41 seconds. And now it is time for the co-main event of the evening. And it is Kiyojima, El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Takashi Segura, and Satoshi Kojima, defeating the team of Kongo, Kino, Katsukyo, Nakajima, Masato Funaki, and Marubu Sonoya at 18 minutes, 36 seconds. Good 8-man tag here. I enjoyed it anyway. And now it is time for the main event of the evening. Hakushi, Akira, and Murafuji taking on the team of Darby Allin, Sting, and the Great Muta. Darby Allin, his usual entrance with the skateboard. And then when it was time for Sting, he came out to his, I believe his first WCW theme song. If it wasn't the exact same, it was pretty close to it. And on the screen, while the music is playing, they show some pictures and footage of Sting and the Great Muta early on in Japan and WCW. Very good kind of like interlude to Sting's entrance. And then he comes out to his current AEW theme song. And then the Great Muta makes his entrance, and he is being accompanied by the legendary, the Great Kabuki. And this one, going into it, I thought the Great Muta, a legend. The final match, he's wrestling as the Great Muta. I thought he was going to be the ultimate babyface going into this one. But he was working heel, and which makes sense. Most of the time, I remember watching the Great Muta when I was younger. He was a heel. He was this evil foreigner who came out with the face paint and would spit the green mist that was supposed to be poisonous. But it was kind of weird seeing Sting and Darby come out here working heel. This one started off pretty good, I thought. Start off with some high, fast-paced action. And at one point, Sting knocks Hakushi pretty hard right off the apron, and he lands onto one of the announce tables. The table does not break, and he hits pretty hard on the table. And then at another point in this match, Hakushi came out with a monk, and he was holding this, I think they called it like some kind of a tombstone or something, like a stick. Don't want to be disrespectful, but and during the match, the Great Muta grabs it and he breaks it, and then he stabs Hakushi in the head with it, and then he is bleeding from that. And then Darby gets a chair from under the ring, puts Marufuji in it, gets on the top rope, does a stomp onto Marufuji in the chair. And Sting and Darby do some double teaming here. And then a little later on, Hakushi at one point drinks his own blood as it's dripping down his forehead. And he tries to walk the rope, but he stumbles a little bit. Then Muta hits him with his mist. Sting gets the Scorpion Death Drop, Darby Allin with the Coffin Drop, and Muta hits the Shining Wizard to get the win. 22 minutes, 23 seconds. Getting the win for his team in the last match as the Great Muta. And after the match, he gets that tombstone stick thing and goes up to Hakushi, and he actually takes some of the blood off Hakushi's head and he draws a symbol onto it. And then him, Sting, and Darby Allin celebrate in the ring. Darby even had bye-bye written on his skateboard. So, good main event. I thought, I wouldn't say it was a great 5-star match or anything, but it was a very entertaining match. I thought definitely worth seeing if you haven't watched the show yet. Overall, it was a good card. Was it really a candidate for one of the best shows of the year? Maybe not. But like I said, it's worth watching though. It's available on Fight or Wrestling Universe. And I gotta say, I definitely recommend it. It is a thumbs up show, from me anyway. So that was the final bye-bye for the Great Muta. And now on to another show. And that is AIW Absolute Intense Wrestling with Wasted Youth, which was on Fight Plus from the Outpost Concert Club in Kent, Ohio. The Philly Marino Experience defeat H2V2. Ziggy Haim defeat Kayla Cassidy. Dominic Garnini defeated Sidney Von England. Chase Oliver defeated Anthony Young. The Rip City Shooters defeated Members Only. Kaplan defeated Tyson Riggs. Sean Mason defeated Lewis Linden. Austin James defeated Cisco Silver. PB Smooth defeats Sam Holloway. in a match for the AIW Tag Team Championships booking season, defeated the Bitcoin Boys, and Arthur MacArthur, Chuck Stone, Joshua Bishop, and Wes Barkley defeated Derek Dillinger, Eric Taylor, and Mikey Montgomery and the Duke in the main event. Again, you can check out that show on Fight Plus. And now we go on to XPW with We Are Not Your Kind. I'm not sure if that was a tribute to the Slipknot album or not. Also on Fight Plus from Newark, New Jersey. And we have the Soul Taker defeating Sean Lawhorn. Sorry. And if you're anybody listening familiar with Michigan independent wrestling, I'm sure you know both of those guys very well. Juventud Guerrera defeating Real One, formerly known as Enzo Amore. Pretty good match here, I thought, for what it was anyway. Not too bad. In a death match, The Body defeated Lucky 13. In another death match, Sage Sin Supreme defeated Chelsea Durden. Drake Younger defeated Big Joe by a referee's decision. And the XPW World Heavyweight Championship on the line in a hardcore match. Masada defeated Tom Latimer, the former Bram in TNA. JJ Escobar defeated Charlie Bonfire and Kurt Bale. The XPW Women's Championship death match. Ludark Shaden defeated Lindsay Snow. And XPW King of the Death Matches Championship, exposed boards, no rope barbed wire, sheets of glass match. Schlack defeated Necro Butcher. So that was XPW. We Are Not Your Kind. Like I said, that show and the AIW show are also available on Fight Plus, which is a pretty good deal. Only $4.99 a month, and you get shows like, I apologize for that. XPW was on Fight, but not Fight Plus. It's you have to pay $19.99 for that, not Fight Plus. My mistake. But AIW is on Fight Plus. Game Changer Wrestling and other indie promotions are available on Fight Plus. Like I mentioned, it was announced that the next Pro Wrestling Noah show in February, which will feature the final match from Keiji Muto taking on Naito. I saw earlier that there's a report that WWE might be interested in bringing in the tag team known as the Authors of Pain, which, if you remember, they had a stint in NXT and were on the main roster for a little bit with Paul Ellering as their manager. They didn't last too long, though. There's also a report that Sting's match on the final Bye Bye show might have been his final match in the country of Japan. He may never wrestle there again, because in the video package for the main event, he was interviewed and he talked about the great Muta retiring, ending his career, and he kind of said something like he might not have much time left. Also, it says that the New Days podcast might not return. And I have listened to it before, but I wouldn't say it was really that great, or at least I didn't think so anyway. And there are so many podcasts out there, it's impossible to listen to all of them. And that was not on the top of my list of ones to listen to right away. But what I see now is that it might not be returning. It's too bad though, because I wouldn't say it was really that bad. But like I said, there are just so many podcasts, even just wrestling ones. You have to kind of pick and choose which ones you listen to. And hopefully you listen to 360 Wrestling Podcast. Or at least I hope so anyway. Actually, I know Corey Graves, what is it called? Is it After the Bell? His podcast, I haven't even listened to that one in a long time. Which is not because it's a bad podcast or anything, but there's just so many to listen to, just don't have time to listen to all of them, like I said. That is all for this episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, episode 353. Thank you very much for tuning in today, right here on Spreaker, and just about anywhere else you can listen to podcasts. Remember to stay tuned right here for more episodes of Wrestling Fanatic, and also tomorrow morning we'll be back with Good Morning Wrestling Fans. Start off your week tomorrow, Monday morning, with me talking pro wrestling with you. Probably going to be previewing WWE Raw is 30 tomorrow night, the 30th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. So I hope you join me. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, anything, 360 Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com. That is the email, or leave a comment right here on Spreaker or YouTube, or if where you're listening to this has a comment section, leave a comment there, and hopefully I'll see it. Also, the YouTube channels, they have 2 of them, and if you could go there, of course, watch the videos, but also like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff that the YouTubers that actually know what they're doing talk about, unlike me, and hopefully grow the 2 channels and grow the podcast. It would mean a lot to me, and I would appreciate it very much. So, to wrap this episode up, once again, keep it right here to 360 Wrestling Podcast for more episodes of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Good morning, wrestling fans. Fanatic Unleashed, hopefully we'll be back again off Thursday, and unboxing videos of Pro Wrestling Crate and AEW All Elite Crate on the YouTube channels. Until next time, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.